Uh, Hello, Internet. How are you? It's almost 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and I can't go to sleep. You didn't notice by my shirt? Uh, I'm probably like a lot of Cubs fans right now, and I'm just trying to digest what happened. Like, obviously, I knew the series could end tonight. I didn't think it would likely happen because Kershaw was on the mound, but I God, it's amazing. It's I realize sports aren't supposed to affect people like this, especially when you're in your 30s like I am, but I just can't help it. I just can't help it. I've been a Cubs fan since I was 14. I'm almost 35 now, so I'm going on 21 years. And I know there's a lot of Cubs fans that have been rooting for this team a lot longer than I have. Um, but that 21 years is still a long time, considering it's about 2/3 of my lifetime. That's what mathematical math tells me. And I already released a video, not released, but uploaded a video that my significant other recorded of me like sobbing like a baby. I didn't know how I was going to react to this game. I jokingly told her that I might shed a tear or two, and maybe the alcohol was helpful in doing this. But once that ninth inning rolled around, and like the memories of being a fan all these years, whether it was '96 when I first started, when Sammy was wearing the 30-30 chain, and people were throwing O. Henry bars on the field when Henry Rodriguez would hit a home run, and the exhilaration of Kerry Wood being a rookie and striking out 20, and then ultimately losing to the Braves in the first round of the playoffs, getting swept, to the first year I ever saw a Cubs game in 2001 at Turner Field, um, 2003 with, of course, I was at Game 5 in Miami and saw the series go 3 games to 2. And I remember walking across the street, and Marlins fans were talking crap, and I just said, "Hey, still 3 games to 2." Little did I know what would happen with Bartman. Then '04 traded for Nomar, and it was supposed to be a great year, but they didn't even make the playoffs that year. Then '05, Derek Lee was an MVP candidate on what was a bad team, and then Dusty Baker was just playing out the strings in '06. Then Piniella came along, and they made the playoffs and won the division in '07, '08, only to get swept both years. And then the dark days came, and then the Tribune Company sold the team to the Ricketts, which gave me some semblance of hope because they were Chicago natives, they were Cubs fans, and then they hired Theo, which was obviously I thought was awesome at the time, and then he rebuilt the organization, then he hired Matt, and then the dominoes kept falling. 20 years later, 20 years later, we get to today. When I first became a Cubs fan, I was in 8th grade. I'm 34 now. And again, I know there's Cubs fans out there with more woeful stories, I guess, with lack of a better term. But it's still hard for me to believe that they pulled it off. And it wasn't, some easy thing, with lack of a better term. Like, I've been drinking, so pardon me, but they just beat the best pitcher on the planet to advance. This wasn't a cheap advancement, if you will. I sobbed like a baby, at least for a good 30 seconds, and then it was lots of laughing and oh my God and pour me another. It was amazing. Like I said, it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. I'm in my truck. I can't go to sleep. I'm this excited. I'm this excited. Me and my friend, we've been planning this almost all season. We thought the Cubs would be good. I said, hey, if for some reason they go to the World Series, we're going to Chicago. Whether we have tickets or not, we're going. And now it's like, it's here. It's happening. Like, it's not even some ridiculous plan now. It's not some figment of our imaginations. It's now set in stone. We're either going to Wrigley, or not to Wrigley, but to Wrigleyville, because God knows I can't afford tickets to the games. We are going to Wrigleyville, either games 3, 4, or 5, or probably 4 or 5 if they have a chance to clinch. If not, we're going the following Tuesday, Wednesday if it goes 6 or 7 games, and we're going to be in Wrigley and Chicago anyways because the town's going to be nuts if they have a chance to win it all, whether or not the team's there. Like, it's now set in stone. Like, this is real. And we actually had this conversation last year when they surprisingly made the playoffs. Like, oh, you want to go to Chicago? Like, it's here. It's happened. It's here. Like, holy fuck. God, this shadow is like really huge here. Unbelievable. And I know there's probably some cynics out there like, well, of course the Cubs won. They won 103 games, and obviously Cubs fans don't. I don't know if I can speak for all Cubs fans, but I think maybe I can. That didn't mean anything. That didn't make any Cubs fan comfortable. It didn't make me comfortable. Okay, they won 103 games. That literally means nothing in the playoffs. You know, they could have easily lost to the Giants. It could have happened. Fortunately, it didn't. The Dodgers were up 2-1. A couple bounces of the ball. Who knows what happens? Well, thankfully, they are where they are. They're in the World Series. And hearing Joe Buck say, who I can't stand, by the way, or seeing it written in text, the Chicago Cubs are the National League champions, or the Chicago Cubs have won the NL pennant. Just hearing those words, I'm like, am I playing PS4? Like, it's incredible. And again, if sports didn't matter, and again, I think it should be like down here on your list of priorities, but if it was that meaningless, why do I care so much? Why do all these people care so much? I'm not saying sports should be your number one priority at all, but there's a place for it. And for all these Cubs fans to feel as emotional as I do right now, I can't blame any of them. As I told my buddy I was watching the game with, who's not a Cubs fan, and my lady friend, my significant other, I've been waiting 21 years for this. How many people can say they've waited 21 years for anything? And again, I know that there's Cubs fans that have waited much longer than me, but in the context of me, how many people can say they've waited 21 years for anything? How many people can say they've had a love affair with anything for that long? And so I don't know what time I'm gonna go to sleep if I am. Like, this is incredible. Uh, like, here I am. I'm in my truck, 4 in the morning. If anyone walks by, they're like, "What the fuck are you doing in your truck?" In Jacksonville, Florida, no less. So there goes the lights. Let me turn that back on. That doesn't probably help, but like, what are you doing in your truck? You're from Jacksonville. What do you care about the Cubs? Well, WGN. I mean, WGN. They sunk their claws in when I was about 14 years old, and 21 years later, here I am. So congratulations to all you Cubs fans out there, to the Cubs players, everybody. Man, I mean, obviously, this will mean less if they don't win it all, but at the same time, like, you should still be happy that they're going. Obviously, I think that goes without saying. I'm sure there's some cynics out there or some cynical people that are like, oh, you haven't won the whole thing. What are you getting all excited for? It's been 71 years since they've even been to the World Series. Yes, I think we can all be really excited. This is fucking not a normal thing. So go fuck yourself if you're a Yankees fan or a Cardinals fan or whoever that's used to going to these things every few years. Cubs fans are not used to it, so let us just bask for a moment. And speaking on my own behalf, if they don't win the World Series, yes, I'll be disappointed, but I'm not going to call this season a failure. I thought that this team was good enough to at least make it, because you cannot, I don't care how good your team is, you cannot guarantee a World Series victory. For anybody to be as arrogant to say it's World Series or bust for my team, well, you don't know how the playoffs work. It's the best team doesn't always win. So I'm just satisfied for now that they've at least made it. And I'm like I said, I will be disappointed if they don't win it all. But for me, at least from here on out, it's all gravy. It's all gravy. Win it, yes, please. I'm gonna root hard for them to win the whole thing. But at the same time, I'm not gonna be this fuck that's like, oh, they didn't win it all. What a fucking failure. Pieces of shit. No, I'm not gonna do that. Especially with the team that's lined up to win for the next few seasons. But just now, as I speak to you at 4 in the morning Eastern time, fuck yes. I mean, fuck yes. I feel really like childish right now and dorky, but I don't care. I shouldn't. I don't care. Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever. This is what makes sports great. Sometimes there's a lot of negative things about sports. Um, but this is one of the positive things. This is one of the few positive things you can get out of it. It's um. Some people say like, how can you not be romantic about baseball? This is one of those moments. How can you not be romantic about this moment? About people being so loyal for so long and then finally getting rewarded, especially in a series in which they were down. Mind you, just 1 game to 2 games, but still, they were down. People were doubting. Thought, here we go. Here comes the curse. Oh, that's right. The curse doesn't exist. Anyways, I'm running on 12 minutes here. And go Cubs. I Tuesday can't get here quick enough. And you know what? I will say this. If the Cubs do lose, I'm glad it'll be to the Indians, who, if you don't already know, are the team with the second longest championship drought, that is. They haven't won it since 48. It should be a great series. I'm not going to break anything down. I mean, at this point, I'm ecstatic. The Cubs are there. I do want more. Don't get me wrong. I do want more. I'm not just satisfied here, but I am just in this moment. I am just so happy. Like, and no, this happiness doesn't, you know, equal like how happy I am in my life, like at all. Like I know people that see this that are cynical, they're like, oh, this makes you happy, sports? No, this is something else. I have other priorities in life, but for now, in my sporting life, like this makes me extremely happy. And again, like I'm 34. I started being a fan when I was about 14 years old. So literally more than 2/3 of my life, I've been rooting for the Cubs. And finally, they've made it. They've made it. Till Tuesday. Go Cubs, go. I love you. That's all I can say. Cubbies, I love you. I don't know. I could be 60 and I might still be making this video. Anyways, I'm out. Good night. Good luck. See you Tuesday.